So, you may be aware, Tennessee won for the first time in Gainesville, Florida in 22 years this past weekend. They got it done 31-11 against the Florida Gators. And I have to go on a little bit of a rant here for a second because my Twitter mentions have been blowing up. And I get it if you're a Florida fan and you're, laughing at me for, putting out some celebratory looking stats over a win against a 3-8 team. That's completely fair. No one would ever celebrate a win over a 3-8 team at Tennessee if it was anybody other than Florida, just to be honest, or Alabama, maybe Georgia.
Even Alabama, I don't know, though. I think it only extends to Florida, really.
Yeah, just because Tennessee is so cursed down there for so long. But it's not just those people that have been in the mentions. Like, there was this other guy in there last night. He was like, one, it's moronic to say that Josh Heupel to compare Josh Heupel to Robert Nealon, which I was not doing. I was just saying, they have both gotten a winning record over Florida in their first 5 games against Florida. That's not something that has happened with other Tennessee football coaches in the past. There have been several that have had that opportunity. None other than Heupel and Nealon have taken advantage of it. That's not saying that Heupel is anywhere near Nealon. So he called me moronic for it. That's, for one, that's uncalled for.
That's just taken out of context.
2, he referred to Heupel as a sorry sack. I'm sorry, a 20-point win over Florida, something that many of us have been begging to see for over 2 decades, qualifies Heupel as a sorry sack? Really?
Hey, and on top of that,
I think, Jordan, I think these people, they're just upset because they had this whole thing in mind where Tennessee's going to lose this game. They're going to fall to 7-4. They're not going to be motivated for Vanderbilt. And suddenly you just start planting the seeds to fire Josh Heupel. That's what I sense going on here with some of these people.
Well, I think a lot of people just aren't used to Tennessee getting this done. I mean, it's 3 times in the past 52 years that Tennessee's gotten a win in the swamp, and then they finally do it. Heck yeah, Tennessee fans are going to be happy because there's always been some kind of curse that is just held over Tennessee's head where they just can't get it done against Florida. And it's not, yes, they're a 3-win team, but it's different than that. I mean, there's been times where Tennessee, and we've said it over and over and over again on this podcast, there's been several times where Tennessee's had a better squad than Florida, and then Florida would pull out some magic and win. So Tennessee winning this game sets a precedent for the future and hopefully change the trend because, like, as I said on the postgame show, I'm no longer as scared as I once was playing Florida because I felt like this was something hanging over Tennessee's head for so long that they needed to get this done to change the tide. Now, we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case. It might be harder to build up momentum against Florida considering that Tennessee won't be playing against them every year. But I think this is a great sign for the program, for the fan base, and get everyone excited. And people calling Josh Heupel a sorry sack or whatever.
That's just rude. I mean, completely uncalled for.
Georgia, Ole Miss, and there's one other team I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but those teams
beat Texas.
Yeah, they beat Texas, and they only lost to Georgia by like 4 points. And I don't hear anyone saying Kirby Smart's a sorry sack or anything like that. I mean, come on now, man. I mean, Tennessee needed to get over this hump, and they did it. We won't be talking about as much about Florida now that this has been done. I mean, it's still going to be a big rivalry, but I think things have changed, and I think that Tennessee can start hanging up some wins against Florida now that they got that monkey off their back.
The other thing I've noticed is some people are just salty over the fact that Josh Heupel did not go out and score more in the second half and just kind of took his foot off the gas. Admittedly, I was a little disappointed in the moment just because, Vietnam flashbacks in the swamp, man. They're very real. The PTSD is there for Tennessee fans. Battered ball syndrome. It's there. You've seen the nonsense happen in the past, but no, you look at how that second half was managed. Florida's running the football, and they're taking too much time off the clock. And Tennessee's, you're playing with a 31-point lead as opposed to a 1-point lead that they were playing with in Fayetteville, Arkansas last year, where you can't be doing that. There's a big difference. So I think you have to go into it with that frame of mind. And you're having success running the ball in this game, too. That's something important to remember. So, yeah, I wish we could have seen Tennessee score more in the second half. But in retrospect, it's not like a fireable offense. There's like, oh, Josh just doesn't have the killer instinct in him. He's not going to keep scoring points in the Swamp. It's a 20-point win in the Swamp. I would have been happy with a 1-point win in the Swamp.
Yeah.
A lot of you would have been happy with that.
100%. And then Josh Heupel taking his foot off the gas, like, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing because, like you said, I mean, there's been some voodoo going on in Gainesville for a while now. I mean, you start feeling too good about yourself, you start throwing passes that get intercepted, and then the game completely changes. So, yeah, Tennessee Tech took their foot off the gas a little bit, but they played what they needed to win the game, and that's ultimately what you want. And a 20-point win, that is a blowout in my book. I mean, Tennessee controlled the game through and through. I mean, you just got to be happy with a win at the end of the day, especially when you've only gotten 3 in the past 52 years. Like, can't be getting like that. I understand Florida fans being upset because they're used to winning, and then like something happens and they end up getting 20-piece in their home stadium. Yeah, I wouldn't like that either. The same way that Alabama fans didn't like it when things started to change for them, and then they started tapping out a little bit more and started being more disinterested in their team because they weren't winning national championships every year. Florida, I mean, they should take it as respect that Tennessee fears them as much as they have and everything, and just be thankful that it lasted while it did, because I think things are going to be changing here in the next few years.
All right, so I guess we could just talk takeaways from this game real quick. I know we talked a lot about this on Saturday, but Jordan, what are your main takeaways from Tennessee's first win in the Swamp in over 20 years?
Well, like I said on the podcast, I like seeing some of these guys like filling in the roles and then just doing well. Like I thought Ethan Davis, I mean, he had the most receptions on the team for the game. I thought that he looked good out there, and Tennessee's going to need him for the next couple of years. I mean, they didn't get a tight end in the 2026 class. You got to assume that Kitzelman's going to be gone after this, so they need.
That's not true. They got Luka Wolf.
Oh, they did.
European prospect. Remember?
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah, the guy. Yeah. I forgot about him.
Not exactly an upgrade from Carson Snead, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know really what to think of him playing in like NFL Europe or whatever. I just don't know if the competition translates. I forgot about him, to be honest. Thank you for correcting me on that. But like, yeah, Ethan Davis is going to be Tennessee's guy next year. And it was good to see him get some quality reps out there, make a couple of good grabs. It was nice to see Tennessee's rushing attack bounce back after it kind of went quiet for a couple of weeks. I mean, I think, you run the ball effectively, you can really control the clock, you can control the game. I really liked what I saw from Bishop out there. And, Aguilar didn't do anything too crazy, but I thought that he played efficiently enough to get the job done. And sometimes that's all that you need. And then the 200-yard streak, it continues. So, I mean, my biggest takeaways from the game is good to see some of these young guys get in, see Tennessee not mess things up, to like not get too many penalties, to not have too many mental errors. I think Tennessee played a clean, not very flashy football game, but enough to get the job done. And I'm happy to see it.
Yeah, that's a good point that you bring up about a more disciplined game than what we're accustomed to seeing when Tennessee goes on the road. Penalties not really a problem, and then you don't turn the ball over at all. I'm in agreement with you on the young guys. You mentioned Ethan Davis. The other two tight ends, Brame and Van Dorselaer, did get in the mix. DeJuan Morris at running back getting in the mix. It kind of had to with Peyton Lewis being out of this game. So good to get all those guys involved in the game. So a couple other things that I saw in this game, the defense. I mean, really good to see the defense come out and play a complete game. I know they gave up some points there late. The Jaden Ball got loose on that one wheel to score a touchdown late in the game. So it is what it is. But other thing that I had, the run game, just still having it. They have not been as productive on the ground this year as usual. But you come out and you rush for 248 on the ground. So good for Tennessee for being able to do that in the Swamp, a place where they sometimes run the ball well. Like I know they did in 2015, but so good for them. Tampa Ball's got a couple of questions here for us. One of the last drives of the half seems like Heupel called straight run plays like the end of first half in Georgia game. Okay. No, if you're referring to the end of the half in this game, I a part of me doesn't mind it just because they were able to get whatever they wanted to on the ground. And it's, in a closer game, I think that stuff really matters. But you have a 6-point swing at that point. So I know, Florida, we know how it goes in Florida sometimes. They can come back and unfortunately beat Tennessee when Tennessee has a double-digit lead down there. But you had gotten up and up at that point, so I don't mind it as much there. And I said it during the game, the play clock or play calling late in the half and situational football management, it can be concerning for this team. I don't think it was as much in this game, even though you managed to you didn't manage to score a touchdown there, but you do kick the field goal. You get a chip shot, get well within Max's range. So I guess that's at least good. Also did that, I think, after Joey's fumble recovery, 3rd and 17. Yeah, it was a massive run. That one is interesting. I do remember that because you go with a run on 3rd and 17, which is a little funky at that point. Maybe you're trying to score another touchdown fast there. And it's 3rd and 17 and you've been backed up. So maybe that's something you want to consider. But I don't mind it in retrospect that since he picked it up, maybe Heupel just knew what he had going on the ground and just wanted to keep doing it, I guess. Because if you're having your way on the ground against somebody, you should by all means use it. It's what happened in the Arkansas game. Like, Joey was not overly productive in that Arkansas game, I didn't feel like. And it was a pretty similar day to that in the Swamp as well. Like, you saw him throw a little over 200 yards in this game, but he didn't he just didn't light the world on fire because he didn't need to.
Yeah, I mean, I think if something's isn't broke, then don't fix it. I mean, and we saw how the Alabama game turned out right before halftime. I mean, throwing an interception changed the whole dynamic of that game. The last thing that you want when you're already up against Florida and already controlling the game is to have a costly turnover that changes the momentum and gets the fan base back in there, because you definitely don't want to do that in the Swamp. I didn't really have a problem with Josh Heupel running the ball right there. And I can't remember where they were at on the field during that one play, but I mean, to be on Josh Heupel's side for this one, I mean, maybe they thought that a pass play wasn't going to work, that all the ones they had drawn up, they didn't think they could play it off. I mean, at least could get a couple of yards and pin him deeper on a punt at the very least, but I can't remember where at on the field that was at. So I don't know exactly if that was the case or not. But I wasn't upset seeing Tennessee run the ball right before half. I don't, and it didn't really affect the game's outcome at all either. So, I mean, that's a good thing as well.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember, and he mentions the Georgia game here, and Oklahoma and Alabama were instances of it as well. But the fact that it wasn't a close game, I think, absolves Heupel a little bit from some criticism. Had it been, say, 28-17 at that point in the game instead of 28-0 when Heupel's just running the ball there late in the first half, then I think there is more room for criticism because you are kicking the ball to Florida to start the second half. So I think that's a big part of it, just knowing the situation, and you're up 4 touchdowns at that point. You are that's a point in the game where I don't mind the whole playing with the lead and being more conservative type thing from Josh Heupel. I know there was still a half of football left, but when Florida came out and just started running the ball, I was like, okay. If they keep running the ball and even getting 7 or 8 yards of carry on first down, they're not going to be moving down the field quick enough to score enough points to even try and get close to tying the game, just because it's going to run so much off. And that's what was happening. They had the ball, it felt like a lot of the second half, and they just weren't able to capitalize. And a big part of that problem is their receiver depth is just non-existent right now with all the injuries. So that's one thing to keep in mind.